Okay, so pulse. Besides being the name of one of my metal bands in high school, pulse is a series of regularly spaced beats, audible or implied, this is very important, we'll get to that later, that dictate the tempo of a song. These recurring pulses create a pattern that you can follow. And why can you follow it? I wonder. Well, you can follow it because I'm playing them in regular predictable time gaps that lets you, well, predict when the next pulse will hit. I mean, if I did this, for example, play random hits without any consistency, you'll never call it a pulse, right? So consistency and predictability are very important. Now that we have a pulse going, let's move on. What will happen if I ask you to start counting this string of beats? What would you do? You won't necessarily know where to start or how much to count to, right? It's pretty random. And why is that? What are we missing? We're missing some variation, some distinct difference between the beats that would group these pulses in a certain way. So maybe I'll accent one of them. And now that we have that, we start counting. This would be counted as 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 main beats, so the rhythmic cycle here is 3. And now I'll do this, for example. And this would be counted as 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pulses, so the rhythmic cycle here would be 4. Now, these beats don't have to be played for it to be called 4. Not at all. But it's the overarching context for the whole structure, so all the parts that create the song adhere to this skeleton. It's like borders on a map versus borders in real life. Sometimes you can physically see them, and sometimes we just know they're there, but they don't really exist. I mean, look at this USA-Canada border. It's a very, very, very thick line here on the map, but in real life, in some places, it just looks like this. So sometimes you can physically see the border, and sometimes you just know it's there, but it doesn't really exist, even though both parties know exactly what that border means. Does that make any sense? Just move on to part 2. It'll make sense.